How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today I want to talk to you about why I like Solana so much and why I am actually about to buy it. Now, I don't do this all too often, which is actually tell you what I'm going to buy right before I buy it. But Solana is getting into a range that I really want to pull the trigger at. And I'll explain why that is. I also want to talk to you about a crypto that I've covered recently that I missed a big piece of news on. And I wanted to tell you about it. And I also want to cover Bitcoin a little bit. We're just going to go through some of the massive news for the day and then hit on Solana. Now, if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button. If you have watched these videos before and you're not subscribed, I'd really consider it. Also, while you're down there is a link down there to BlockFi where you can get a credit card that pays you 3.5% back in Bitcoin to start off, and then 1.5% back after that, and it goes straight into your interest account that actually pays you every single month. They also have crypto-backed loans, which I don't talk about a lot, but it is going to be really important when we do have massive gains in crypto years down the line that we can get loans on it, and this is one of the easiest ways to do it. Now, first of all, let's talk about Bitcoin. This article talks about how there's a metric that shows Bitcoin is oversold, and it's only the 7th time in 8 years that we've seen this. So they are looking at the advanced NVT signal, which looks at price relative to on-chain transactions. It's only been oversold a few times before, each time resulting in a strong bounce. Now, that bounce varies. So what we can look at here is this bright blue line, and then the price is over here in the purple. So basically we hit this oversold mark down here, and then we had a little bit of a bounce here. We hit this oversold here, and we had a massive run up. Even here back in 2018 when we were getting into the bear market, we had it fall down, and then it still recovered a good amount here, this little bump here. And it varies. It varies from little bumps and then falling and falling and falling to massive runs over a year. So just keep in mind that this is kind of an oversold territory. And why do we like Bitcoin in the end? I think is something that's really important to remember, right? We can look at price fluctuations day to day, but all that really matters is where it's going in the future and then what price we can get it at. So we are getting it at a little bit of a discount compared to where we've seen it recently, but also we have to remember that the US is going to continue to inflate the US dollar. We can see here that the Democrats are getting very close to increasing the debt ceiling. Their goal is about $2 trillion, which would carry them for 1 year. That's all that $2 trillion buys us is a year. And you can see the deficit recently has been exploding. If we were a person, we would be going bankrupt. But instead, the U.S. national debt is going to be close to $30 trillion here soon. And the best way, in their mind, to get past this is to inflate the US dollar. So we need to protect ourselves in some way. And I think locking up some Bitcoin for the long term is a good way to do it. So again, you can check out the link underneath the video to BlockFi so that they actually pay you on that. But let's talk about Solana. So like I said, I usually don't tell you about cryptos right before I buy them, but we're getting in a very obvious range for buying Solana. So of course, anything can happen. If Bitcoin falls to $40,000, Solana is going to tank just like every other cryptocurrency out there, but it's getting in a very attractive zone. So we've seen very strong support a handful of times over the last couple months, around 178 to about 185. You can see how many times have we touched this. Back here, we saw support here around about 178. Again, we saw it around 177. We've seen it right here around 181. We saw it here at 185, 187, and then it just continues. Every time we see this, we see a nice bounce back, usually above $200. I mean, every single time we bounced over $200 very soon after. So if we fall into the lower 180s, I will be picking up Solana. Also, we do have good news that came out recently. Grayscale Solana Trust launches with $9.5 million of assets under management. Now, the last 5 cryptos that they've given a specific fund to, not all of them have done that well, but we have to remember that those were actually pretty recently. They were earlier this year in March, and that was when a lot of the altcoins were pumping, and then they've kind of fallen off, but some have done really well, like Decentraland. So Grayscale is launching this fund because institutional demand is so high. It starts off with a minimum of $25,000, and then also you have to pay a 2.5% fee. So they are doing this for a reason. They're not putting all this together because no one wants to invest in Solana, right? People are chomping at the bit to get a piece of Solana, and this will just lock it up for the long term. They are long-term buyers and holders of Solana now. Also, we do have some exciting things happening on their ecosystem, like 3 Arrows that led a $4.3 million round for Solana-based metaverse project Solace. I don't have any affiliation with them, but I was just looking at some things that were happening. This project has a lot of big backers. So you might recognize some of these: 3 Arrows Capital, also Animoca Brands, Alameda Research. We have KuCoin Labs in there too. There's a lot of big names that participate in this, and it's going to be something similar to like a Decentraland or Sandbox. So one more metaverse that I think will do really well. And when you think about what's to come, right, when we think about the explosion of the end of the year, and even what a lot of people are expecting is the explosion of NFTs are going to be really attractive on Solana as opposed to something like Ethereum, as Ethereum's actually pushing back Ethereum 2.0 constantly. We need some cheaper way of transacting with NFTs. Now, I also think that Cardano will do well here soon. I've talked about Cardano recently. I'm very excited about Cardano, especially in the short term, because of that DEX that is coming out, and it seems to be running pretty smoothly on the test net. Now, I think it will push up when we get it to the main net, but Solana in this range, I think, is a great time to pick up some more. Now, of course, like I said, anything can happen. If Bitcoin falls to 45,000, 40,000, 35,000, whatever, it's going to make all cryptocurrencies drop. But I think Solana in this range, like I said, is very attractive and is really easy to get a 10% pump very short term. Now, with that being said, I did say that there was a crypto that I covered recently that I did not get every piece of information on. And that was earlier today. I talked about Polygon. And DraftKings, I've talked about this before, is using Polygon, but they announced that they're planning to launch a gamified NFT collection next NFL season. So this is one more reason that Polygon might be pumping up here soon. So starting next year, fans will be able to play NFT-based games featuring their favorite NFL players, according to the company. They say the future of fandom is unfolding in front of us, and few organizations beyond DraftKings are equipped to capitalize on the increasing intersection between sports and NFTs. So this is going to be big for DraftKings, hopefully, and then also just big for Polygon, one more big name that's using them. Now, of course, I want to hear your thoughts on this down below. Are you excited? Are you going to buy Solana here soon if we see those lower 180 numbers? Again, I am excited about Solana, Cardano, Ethereum. I like a lot of these layer 1 solutions, even BNB, something that no one really talks about. With the introduction of BEP95, they have a new burning mechanism, which has burned about 5 million BNB just in 1 week. So, I mean, there are a lot of different cryptos to be excited about, especially even in the top 10. There are a lot of cryptos to be excited about, but I want to hear your thoughts. Are you excited? Are you worried? Let me know underneath the video. Thank you guys so much. Definitely check out BlockFi underneath, and I will see you in the next video.